The Chicago Bulls find themselves in another tough game against the Memphis Grizzlies. Let's talk about the keys to victory on this one and ultimately who has to step up for the Bulls to get a dub. Let's talk about all that and more. But first, gotta hit a video, baby. If you're new, this is your boy P Kid. This is Chicago Bulls Breeze. And if you could like, share, subscribe, you know what? Like my man JC would say, show some class. You watching it, you might as well share the wealth. Hit the like button. We like to give you all things Chicago Bulls. But let's get into the video, man. Listen, the Chicago Bulls find themselves in another tough game. What I mean by that is the Memphis Grizzlies are no team to actually sleep on. We know what who Ja Morant is. We know what the Memphis Grizzlies can do. Now, whether they will do it is yet to be seen, as we do know that Ja may be questionable for today's game, and Desmond Bane may also be on some restrictions, as I've seen on some reports. I don't know if he's still on that as of yet. I'm still waiting on these updates. As of right now, it seems like there's some ambiguity on his situation as well. But regardless of any of that, we know that this team did have, Western Conference contending aspirations. And when you are a team that is poised for that, and you can see they've paid a lot of people to actually try to get there and bring the talent in, well, you're in for a dogfight, or should be in for a dogfight, even though it is early in the season. Now, with all that being said, the Chicago Bulls do have the talent. Now, will they utilize it, and will the talent step up? That's a different question. And that brings us to our first particular topic: who needs to step up? It's easy to say everybody, right? That would be the easiest thing to say. But the reality of it is, Zach still shows you that he is and can be a figure in this particular offense. Kobe showed you that they can coexist. As you saw Kobe go off one game, Zach go off another. Vooch is still Vooch is still consistent. I don't know what the hate about Vooch is. I kind of get it from people who want a younger center. But Vooch is not a serviceable center. He's a good center. Like Vooch in many other situations could be an all-star. So it's not just that. We're primarily talking about all those other people to be X factors on this particular team. Josh Giddey's a rather new addition. I do like what I'm seeing from him so far. So this is not so much him. I do give grace to new players in a new system, new team, and things of that nature, because I know it takes some time to get acclimated to that. Practice only does so much. When you're in real games, it's a whole different thing. But Io, P. Will, to be honest with you, I don't know what's happening with Dalen and everyone else, and what the heck happened to TH. Like we have other people on this particular team that need to step up. I don't want to sit there and harp on P. Will and Io, but they do. They are the ones that bring the most concern and worry. More P. Will for me than Io. I think Io is just unfortunately in a situation where there's a lot of guards on this team. And it's kind of hard to carve out your opportunity in a team that's already loaded with people at your position who are going to get more tick than you. Like Zach is going to start. Kobe is going to start. You got Josh Giddey there who's going to start. You don't need too much of the same thing there. And Io, in my opinion, is what Kobe White can be, or what Kobe White is, if given the opportunity to develop into that. I'm not trying to pit them against each other. I'm just saying there's a lot of redundancy in that particular area. P. Will, though, it's not a whole lot of redundancy in that area. P. Will, to me, still has the opportunity to be a very dominant player, at least defensively, if you commit to one thing or the other. And honestly, you're going to need that third or fourth guy in this league to really be successful as a ball team. If you're going to be successful, you have to have more than just your heavy hitters on the team. And for those who say that's making an excuse, guess what? Look at the champions now and tell me they don't have heavy hitters top to bottom. Tell me they don't have people on their bench who could come in and get you 20. Peyton Pritchard was out there giving people 20, and Derek White is out there giving people 25 and stuff like that. I mean, listen, Derek White may not be a bum, and I'm not saying he ever was realistically, but he was never JT, Jaylen Brown. Like, he wasn't a big name like that. He could still go out there and serve up 15 to 20 a night. when they ask and they call upon it. You need those guys to contend on that level. And guess what? All the heavy hitter teams in the league, they're developing that well-rounded core of not just one, not just two, not just three, but 4 to 5 people that you can depend on when one person is either being focused on and stuff like that. Guess what? The Bulls need that too. If we're going to be contenders, the Bulls need that. And we actually, you can't say that the ball doesn't get spread. We did good against the Bucks. We showed that we can kind of have this plethora of players give you double-digit production while being productive on the other end as well on defense. We just need to do it consistently, and that's what happens with Pete Will. You need consistency, and we haven't had the consistency there. Injuries be darned, when he's still on the floor and he is there, you consistently have this ebb and flow when we really want him to do more. And I know this sounds like a broken record, but it kind of is what it is. You only have 2 issues here. You either have talent that's not taking advantage of the opportunity, or you have someone who's not managing the talent to take advantage of the opportunity. So it's either the player themselves or the coaching around it. And in this case, it's a little bit of both, because that's the second part that leads to one. Is Billy Donovan going to get, I don't want to say cute, but is Billy Donovan going to be consistent in his own way of scheming it? Like, realistically, we are trying to find the identity and things of that nature, but I'm still lost as to whether or not that identity is being developed because of the players, or is it because of the tutelage and direction of the coach? Now, no one that has said anything bad about Billy Donovan, at least from the Bulls locker room, from what I've heard. But I haven't heard any glowing things either. Look, I want people to understand, just because a lot of people can like a guy doesn't mean that's the right guy for the group. It's because you go out and have a beer with the guy doesn't mean that's the right guy for the group. Just because you had previous success in college doesn't mean that you're the right guy for the group. Now, I do understand and I do appreciate Billy Donovan being able to connect with young men and getting them to I like what he did in college and his ability to coach young men to see their potential. But now we're talking about professional players. And I know he's been in the league as a coach for a long time, but I still struggle to understand why we haven't seen more development in certain areas from certain players that I expected to shine under his tutelage. He will be in one of them, and to be honest, it's just not there. It just hasn't happened for me. And so those are the 2 things right there. For me, it's, hey, are we going to have those other guys step up? That's a must if we're going to not just win this game, but if we're going to be successful this season. Realistically, we have to have those other guys step up. And 2, is Billy Donovan now going to actually develop and actually have an identity that we stick to when we develop for this particular team? We need that as well. All of those things are going to be pivotal for us to get to the next level. But I want to hear your thoughts. Ultimately, this is about the Memphis Grizzlies and how we can match up against them. But really, we're talking about much more than that. And we think we all know it. We've all been saying it, and it's coming to a fever pitch where we can all identify 2 to maybe 3 key issues. And it slowly moved from blaming the guy in Zach LaVine to realizing that, hey, you know what? Maybe it's not Zach. Maybe the guy who's leading this pack has also been slipping. Maybe it's not just not having talent, because we clearly have the talent here. Maybe it's how the talent is being utilized that doesn't give us the best opportunity. That conversation is slowly creeping in more and more, and I'm loving it because we're now starting to ask real questions. We are actually starting to get to the bottom of things. And everyone can sit there and say, well, they're never going to fire a head coach, especially not now. And I don't believe that. I don't believe that you can even afford to do that at this particular point in time if you want to maintain a loyal fan base and things of that nature. The Chicago Bulls do sell out every time, and it's still a nice place to go and all that stuff. But realistically, we can't keep doing the same old. It is tough that we have really tough teams to go against, but it doesn't help when you don't see, or you do see, some of the same old, and no real improvement. But I want to hear your thoughts. What do you think is going to take for the Bulls to edge out a win against the Memphis Grizzlies? And ultimately, what are your 2 keys? Mine is going to be, again, players taking advantage of the opportunity and coaches taking advantage and actually coaching toward that opportunity. Those are mine. That's I stand on that one, but I want to hear your thoughts. Well, it's left with us. Say, put in the chat. I'll be in there with you. Till next time. Peace.